Hello there, and today we're going to take a look at Card Quest, something that released into the early access system very, very recently, and has had just a couple of quick updates, including one like today, the day of recording, to put up to version 0.51, as you can see right down here. This is a very difficult, like incredibly difficult, card-based, turn-based RPG, something that immediately caught my attention because I love card-based games and RPGs, and it has a pretty unique little style to it. So it's a game completely based on cards. Everything is card-based. It's just exploration and combat based on an inventory of cards that you have based on whatever you have equipped. A bit like, well, a couple of other things on the market that you can see, but this is a kind of simple, just straight up, mostly combat version of things like that. Kind of like Card Hunter is, only this is less D&D and more just battles. But it's actually really interesting. So we're going to go to one of the... There are two levels available right here in the current build. The Enchanted Forest is not in yet, although I expect it will be equally difficult. Although, do not let that dissuade you. They are not just two levels. Each of these is actually a pretty large branching group of zones that you make your way through, as I will hopefully be able to show you, but that involves me actually being able to beat the first boss, which I'm not always able to do, because like I said, this game is actually pretty hard and requires a good amount of sort of tactical awareness in the combat. So let's just do the Cursed City. Each of these areas has a completely different variety of enemies, boss types, and places to go. So, new game. You have three characters, your kind of classic archetypes, and I've been leveling the wizard, because of course I have. And they all have different equipment, and every bit of this equipment gives them different cards to use in battle, and everything you can see here has a nice little description, and you can select and see which cards it gives you. You will start with just these three things available. Leveling up, as you can see here, will give you different things like maximum health, maximum stamina, which is what you use to play cards, different things depending on the class, like in this case this gives you this energy here, which is used for certain cards, but of course only the wizard gets this, other classes get different things. And also, at certain levels, like 4 and 7, gives you new schools, new styles, for new cards. There's also armors, trinkets, and bags, which you can get, as you can see here, by defeating bosses and things of that sort. And you can equip these, and these also give you cards. And or are usable items, which you can see here. This Blinkstone, for instance, allows me to, well, blink and dodge attacks and get away from enemies, distance myself from them, which is nice as a wizard because I can still hit melee enemies and they can't hit me. But it only has one charge, and it takes two sort of moves, or two battles, basically, to recharge its use, so I can only use it once every now and then. And I've also got these Thunderstones, which I've never used. What do they do? Let's see. They give me 2 of that arcane energy, 2 stamina, and it looks like 1 turn of causing 2 damage to everything that hits me, which is quite handy. I think I'm going to stay with the ability to survive, because I only have 10 health, which is very, very little. In fact, if I'm up against a particularly large group of enemies, I can, without a way to defend myself, I can actually die in 1 turn as the wizard, so... and I've never tried the Pyromancy School because I just unlocked it, so let's try that. Here we go. Begin! Yes, I know. There are several different status effects and all kinds of things, which we'll run into. So, here we go. Revenants. Mostly in this area, you run across zombies and things at first, so... Okay. Here's how it works. You've got your health, your stamina, you get 5 per turn, and now I've got fire magic, which wasn't here before, because I, have the fire school now. Let's see, starts at 0 every battle. I cool off 2 per turn and lose all of it per battle. And it deals 3 damage if I max it out. Does that mean 3 damage to me, I assume? Like I'm overheating? And then arcane charges, which I know how that works. Starts at 1 every battle, but because I have this Blinkstone, it gives me an extra 1. Oh no, actually that's because I have this, isn't it? No, I guess it isn't. Anyway, it is the stone. Okay. You can also mulligan your hand at the beginning, discard cards, and draw more cards, but that costs stamina, so you gotta be careful with that. What can I do? Next attack deals an extra 2 damage, generate 2 fire magic, 2... Okay. Wow. Let's see. 2 Revenants, you get a turn, and then all of them get a turn, and then that is the end, and it goes back to you. Starting out with only 2 enemies, not that bad. But we'll see what happens. I think what I'm going to do is just guarantee a kill on one of them. And then this will guarantee a kill on the other. And then it'll just reset. Your hand and everything resets after every battle, so there's not really a huge point in keeping all of that. The only thing that doesn't reset is your health. You do heal after a boss fight, but not completely, which is pretty brutal. Pale Hound. They can dodge if you make them distant, which is what things like the Blinkstone does, so be careful about that. Alright, they have 3 health and deal 3 damage, so... Lightning would be a good start. Gonna kill one of them and almost kill the other, at which point I can just zap it for free. You'll also notice there's a chain system. When you play a card, you start a chain, unless it's a chain breaker. And a lot of cards have a chain effect that will do something to the card. In this case, as you can see, it makes it cost 1 less stamina, and you draw a card when you play it, if you play this during a chain. So you want to play that second if you can, and things like that. But there are, of course, as you can see, chain breaker cards, which, if you play first, don't start a chain, and if you play during a chain, will break it, as you may guess. Alright, and there are also these cards that are grayed out. These are defensive cards. You can actually play cards on their turn if you have the resources for it, which is why you don't necessarily want to exhaust all of your resources on your turn. A bit like Magic the Gathering, if you have a lot of instants in your hand, you want to keep various resources available because, say you want these are for blocking their attacks when they hit you, you want to be able to use these and not take any hits. As you can see, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 damage. If I got hit by all of these in one turn, that would almost kill me as the wizard, so that wouldn't be good. Alright. What can I do? I can lightning the crap out of some of them, which will actually kill the crawler if I hit it directly. This is what I was talking about, that it takes a good amount of sort of tactical planning, because you want to use as much as you can to whittle their numbers down as quickly as possible, but you also want to leave yourself some wiggle room to be able to defend against their attacks and not die, which is particularly difficult, I found, as the wizard, because you're so squishy and you have such little stamina, and you also rely on this other resource that a lot of your shielding cards need in order to be effective. You don't just have to have the stamina, you also have to have the arcane charges to be able to live. So we're going to do this to draw some more cards. Okay, there's 3 shield, which is nice. So I'll go ahead and kill another Revenant. That leaves me enough to actually be able to play all of those. So yeah, we'll block it. That is a very effective shield though, because it blocks up to 4 damage. And in a chain, it does stun them, blocks up to 6 damage, and draws me a card. And it can draw another shield, which is nice. So those guys are stunned, which means they won't attack for now, so I don't have to worry about them yet. But... ooh. Okay, that is very powerful. So I'm seeing the use of this fire magic stuff. A lot of AoE and kind of damage over time stuff, which I would expect from fire magic, but you need a lot of this, well, fire magic, which could be a problem. I could use this, though. That's basically lightning charge, which is a different card I have, or had, if I was equipped with the lightning magic skill instead. Yeah, let's try this. And then use Fire Blast. I guess I'd have to use this so it hits all 3 of them. And there we go. As you can see, the very last room, that's the boss. And the bosses get really quite challenging. As in, like, very challenging. They're certainly not easy. And they often have large numbers of possible strategies that you could use to actually reliably take them out. But you have to be careful, because I found that as the wizard, this particular boss can hit you really hard. It usually hits for about 4 or 5 sometimes, which you can only take a couple of turns of, and it can hit you at range, so things like being able to blink away don't save you. You still have to be able to reliably block its attacks pretty much every turn. So trying to get a lot of card draw to get your at least one shield available every turn is difficult. You basically constantly have to mill yourself. And yeah, so the game gets really, really challenging pretty quickly. But getting up to the boss isn't too bad usually. Well, this will deal just a ridiculous amount of damage, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do it because I don't really have any other options right now. Then I can use this to draw a card. Inner Fire, there we go, that's what I needed. Which I can use to Fire Blast it. There we go. Again, it's all about trying to mill your hand around a bit and get what you need as the wizard. The other two classes work quite differently. Cooling Stance, decrease fire magic by 4, make all enemies unaware, and draw 2 cards. Huh. But you can't actually use it unless you do have 4. Interesting. Okay. 3 big revenants, wow. That's a bit brutal. There can also be invisible enemies around that appear kind of randomly, which I'm not sure I like, because it's hard to plan for that. And there can also be enemies who get their turn before you, like ghouls, which I also don't like, because that, as the wizard, almost seems like unavoidable damage unless you happened to be lucky enough to get arcane shields on your first draw, which you have no control over, because they get their turn first, so you can't just continually mulligan, which costs stamina anyway. So I'm not sure if I like the fact that sometimes you get basically unavoidable damage that whittles you down before the boss, but I guess that's just a factor of trying to play it as best you can. Well, now I have a bunch of stuff I can't really use, so I guess I'm going to have to use the Blinkstone. There we go. That makes them distant, so they're going to have to spend 2 turns walking towards me in order to actually do anything to me. So I'm going to end my turn. They're going to walk towards me once, which makes them distant 1. And now I can still not really do anything. I don't want to waste the recovery on this, but I need the card. There we go. That's what I need. Oh, perfect. Fire Blast. Yeah. And of course, when enemies are distant, not only can they not hit you if they're melee, but you can't hit them if you're using melee attacks. So you do have to be careful about that. Like, you probably wouldn't want to take this, necessarily, if you were playing the warrior, unless you had a lot of, like, some sort of ranged effectiveness or something like that, or if it was just an emergency and you needed some breathing time. So, again, lots of options, but in this case, I think... Ooh, shoot. There's still too many to block all of them. And I don't have enough to do Cooling Stance. There's another Inner Fire. I don't want to get rid of all of my arcane energy because I might need it for shields. Plan ahead. Don't be stupid. Avoid all damage if you can until the boss. You need all of your health. Cooling Stance. I could Inner Fire and then Cooling Stance. I think that's the best idea. That's another shield, which is nice, so Cooling Stance. There. Now they're unaware. Ooh, I could Fire Blast too. Well, I could Fire Blast. If I had enough. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. They are burning, so they're going to take... they're actually going to die. That's useful. Okay, I didn't know that. Totally forgot. Sometimes there are so many effects on you and your enemies that it's a bit difficult to keep track of it all, and you kind of forget what's going on, which makes the whole be tactical thing a bit challenging. Okay. In this case, I'm going to let them attack me, so I can block and draw some other cards. Yes, 2 lightnings. That's pretty much perfect. I can kill them now. Yes. Oh, duh, that Inner Fire lasts, or works for lightning too. It doesn't say that it only has to be a fire spell. It can be a lightning spell. I forgot. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. These guys have slow on them, which means their first turn, they don't do anything. But still, all of these guys, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I mean, that's enough to kill me if I don't get rid of any of them. So, okay. Goodness. Okay, first, lightning you. Then use this for free. Then probably use this for draw. Okay. Very nice. It empowers the lightning or the fire blast. I think it'd be better to empower the fire blast because it does more damage. That way it'll do 5 to everything, which would guarantee a kill on a group of all 3 of these. There we go. Now I can use this to guarantee a kill on that guy and that guy. Oh, and there's another one, which will let me kill the crawler. And I can use Zap to kill the Revenant. There we go. 1 turn, got all of them. That's basically what you need to do every time. And here's the boss. As you can see, 40 health is a lot. It also regenerates 1 HP a turn, has 4 attack. Now, every 2 turns it will smash you, which does 6 damage and can stun you, which sucks, because it'll get another turn after that, which for me will kill me. And also it'll throw 4 damage debris, which can stun you when it's distant. Every 3 turns it enrages, which will permanently increase his damage by 1, and you can do that twice. So you really need to just burn him down as fast as possible, essentially, which makes this particularly difficult. But, as you can probably tell, burst damage is the specialty of the wizards, so we're gonna see what happens. Oh god. Alright. Think about cost here. Inner Fire first doesn't make sense because this regenerates stamina and draws a card. Although doing this in a chain makes it cost 1 less, but it doesn't really make any sense if this regens 2 anyway, so I think using lightning first makes sense. We need to kill those other revenants first. Just get them out of the way. Use Inner Fire, draw a card, then use Fire Blast on him. Alright, there's 2 of them out of the way. The best thing I could do is if I can't get rid of all of them, I could just blink away so that only one of them can attack me, him, and I can block it. I think I might have to do that right now. I don't see any other way right now, actually. I have the necessary... Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Let's just blink away, end the turn, and get ready to block his debris. There we go. Oh, I got another one too, good. And he's gonna burn for 2 for a little while. Okay. So this is where things really get kind of difficult. This will allow us to kill this Revenant. Shoot. Drawing costs 5, right? I can get 2 card draw if I draw now, and then use this to regen the 5 and get another card. That seems like a good idea. Do that, and do that. There we go. Another lightning. Ooh, good. I'm really not getting the best draws, but I still have enough stamina to defend. Using lightning is important because it regens the arcane charges. Okay. Good lord. Well, I can kill the Revenant this turn, which is good, but not in a very effective way. I don't want to use that, really, because then I won't be able to use the shield. And if I use that, it's possible that it'll waste 7 damage, basically, on that Revenant, which I don't want to do at all. But if I draw this, it'll only leave me with 3. Ooh. Yeah, and discarding doesn't give you any stamina back, so there would be no point. Well, this is a problem. This is where I usually screw up. I guess we have to risk it, because there's really nothing else I can do, and using that's kind of a death sentence because it'll leave me without a way to defend myself. Because it takes all of your charges, and I don't have a way to make more. Okay, use it. Damn. Knew that was coming. Well, I have to defend. I can't do anything else. Uh-oh. I'm gonna take 1 damage. Inner Fire. Well, that could be useful, but not by itself. Shoot. This isn't good. Next attack. It does draw me a card, though, so... There we go. That's what I need. Yes. Okay. And I still don't want to do that. Okay. And I can take the 1 damage for now. That's not too bad. Ah, he stunned me, so yeah. I'm almost dead. Not good. Not good. I mean, I'm getting him down pretty well, but not effectively enough. Okay. I'm probably missing a good amount of, like, tactical choice here where I could have used my cards better, unfortunately. Alright, inner fire. Does that double the... probably not. Usually it doesn't. Usually it would only, like, refresh this effect and it would still be 2, not 4. So... okay. Come on, give me a shield. There we go. Let's make him unaware. Oh, I could fire blast him again. That still leaves me plenty of stamina for defending myself, so let's do that, because I need to burn him down quickly. He's taking 4 damage per turn, and I can't take barely any, so that's great. If I do this, how much damage will that do? 2 plus 6. So that'll deal 8 damage, and then the 4 will kill him, right? So that's exactly what I want to do. But wait, does he take the tick of burning damage after he attacks me or before? Because if he takes it before, then he'll die and not get a chance to hit me. But if he takes it after, then he'll kill me. Shoot. I should just defend and wait. And then if he takes... yeah, that's the safest way to do it, because that way I can kill him either way and not have to worry about it. Okay, that's what we'll do. End of the turn. Yeah, he takes it before, so that was the smart thing to do. Oh, and it doesn't matter because he heals anyway, so yeah. Okay. Lightning. And zap. Yes! Got him. Barely. 1 health left. And I get healed for 5. Yeah, that's how brutal the game is. You barely get healed after a boss fight, which I really think they need to prepare for. Now, you think that 1 level was fairly difficult? Well, look at this. This is how large the game actually is. And this is just the first. There are 2 other levels like this, although one of them isn't in the game yet. You can go this far. And every one of these has different enemies. As you can see here, you see, when you click one, it shows you the possible encounters. And they all have a different variety of enemies. And some other events and things that can happen, and different items that you can get. In this case, I've already gotten the item from him, so, you know, I can't get it again. From the wizard, at least. If I beat him with other characters, I'm sure I can get something else. But yeah, that's how Card Quest works. It is brutally difficult, and I can't imagine making it to the end right now. But the more I do it, the more stuff I unlock, the more high level I get, and the better I get at actually managing my cards better, and I'm coming up with better combos and not screwing it up constantly. It gets a little easier each time, and I think that's kind of the point. Which is pretty cool. And I really appreciate the type of game that this is. It's definitely pretty old school. And I like it. I like it a lot. It reminds me of, like, was it that DOS Magic the Gathering game that was really cool? It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Anyway, I think it's a very cool effort from a studio that's trying to make something pretty unique and is, so far, doing a pretty good job at it. So yeah, I would check this one out. It's available right now on Steam for $8, I believe. It's not expensive at all. It's only $8, so do give it a try if you're at all interested. And that's what I needed. I'll link you, of course, in the description below, and you can see what it's like for yourself. It's currently in early access, of course. It's not finished yet, as you can see, but what's here is actually quite a lot of content already. 3 classes with a lot of cards available, a good amount of leveling to do, 2 levels with a pretty long branching pathway to go through, a lot of choice to make, and a lot of difficulty to wade your way through. So be prepared for that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and, well, check it out for yourself. It's pretty cool. I'll see you guys next time.